webs of Inter. It is I, Sebastian, and this is F3G2. Hopefully going to be a really fast one because due to weather complications and technical difficulties, I am starting 6 minutes after I like to have already been gone from here. So, with no further ado, Civil War Dose number 2. So Civil War Dose. Tony's pissed. Tony's really pissed. Everybody else wants to make the best of this. Tony thinks making the best of this is only going to make it worse. Tony asks some valid questions. When Tony Stark is teetering on the voice of reason, that's a weird thing. That's unsettling times for the entire MU. It's good. It leads to, next issue has that cover of an angry Hulk holding a half an Iron Man over a bunch of fallen heroes. But it's weird because it's not the Amadeus Cho Hulk. And they just show up casually and go, oh, Dr. Banner. And Banner's there like, what? And I'm like, but they haven't even revealed what's happened to Banner yet in Hulk. So I don't know where this falls continuity-wise. And as with most of Marvel's big events, it's cool stuff, but it always seems somehow outside of everything. Like, everything else is happening. And it's like, and I don't know where it falls.
It's just meshing, not meshing well.
Well, mostly I just don't know where it falls because this Hulk thing threw me. Everything else, you know where it falls because they're all crossing over. It's good, but I've been burned before, so I wait to see how they stick the landing on the Marvel events. Titans Rebirth. Wally shocks the monkey. He shocks everybody. Wally shocks everybody. Every time he touches them, you get a little zap, and they get some rather interestingly. It was well done for everybody remembering, and it doesn't all flood back. They all get like specific little memories that trigger everything, and they're always little personal moments, not like big deals or whatever. And even Dick Grayson, mentions this. He's like, it's not like it was a huge. He goes, I remember just, some of them remember a time where Wally was a shoulder to cry on. Robin remembers a time when Wally was all excited. And he goes, I don't usually take cars, but let's take this one. And they took out the Batmobile without Bruce's permission. All these little moments, and it was really, really good. It's just nice to see.
Wally's
it's just nice to see the Titans, any Titans book in the DC universe that is not a hot mess to read and just seems like goodness. Superman number 1. Starting the story is called first off, this page that was just great to open to. That was just beautiful. And it's Superman mourning Clark Kent at Clark Kent's hidden grave because New 52 Supes is dead. We get a little glowing handprint weirdness, and our Superman is reminded that Mr. Oz told him that you're not what you think you are. So we don't know the full mystery. Jonathan tries to save his cat from a hawk, and apparently, let's just say in Super Abilities 101, using heat vision for the first time, not the best way to try and save your cat. But he gets his Lana Lang. He gets a witness. So somebody knows that he's got, the fire eyes. He's got his own little Lana Lang. The Clark and the family are no longer the Kents or the Whites. They are now the Smiths, and they are, they've gone to the farm life where they can hide whatever they're doing. But, we've got an established Superman and a kind of take on the established Superboy Silver Age story in this modern Jonathan setting of being raised in a small farm town with someone who clearly knows who he is. Whether or not that's good or bad, we don't know yet. But it's off to a good start. I'm happy.
We get Super Sons yet?
No. Super Sons hasn't started yet. Green Arrow, numero uno. I'm going to say at first I was being a little harsh on this because the beginning, some of the dialogue is kind of painful and cheesy. But about 10 pages in, it picks up and becomes...
I swear that's not my stomach.
That sounds like something horrifying happening in the wall.
I swear it's not my stomach.
We may want to tell them that in a second. So let's try and do this. Ollie and Black Canary have, boom! It's instant kismet. It's great. It feels like a Green Arrow book is supposed to be. Ollie's got some difficulties. Not sure who to trust. Makes some poor choices. Really, really good. This is back on track. No. Green Lanterns, number 1. picking up with our buddy cop series of Boz and what's her name?
New girl.
Yeah, it's something with J, right? It's Jessica. But the Red Lanterns are on Earth. Things are kind of complicated. Boz has an interesting new power that apparently gives him that distinction. You know, kind of like, Kyle had things that, the other Green Lanterns couldn't do. Now we've got Boz has his little specific. He gets the, what do they call it? The Emerald Sight. So that's kind of cool. This was really good. Batman #1. Bruce calls in for the Justice League and can't get a response. A plane is shot down, a big passenger plane over Gotham, and is going to crash into Gotham. And Bruce, using some higher math and his new untrained and not in uniform sidekick of Duke Thomas, Duke helps him figure out the trajectory of how he has to use the ejector seat on the Batmobile, going at what speed, at what angle, jumping off a bridge to get himself onto this plane. And then he's got these mini jet things that he sticks onto the plane, and they are able to not completely, it's not enough to keep them.
Slow it.
Yeah, basically. And it was really good. Then we get Gotham and Gotham Girl, who show up and they want to, undo, but they're like Superman level. That I didn't expect. I really expect them, just because Gotham, but they've got the Superman shaped whatevers, and they show up and they lift the plane. They something. They go, look, this is our city, and Bruce is like, So I don't know if they're new Kryptonians, if they're other versions of Clark and Kara.
Cool.
I don't know. Justice League 51. This issue was so good. Written by Dan Abnett, who's doing the Titans book, and with beautiful, beautiful art by Paul Pelletier. This is the first time the New 52 Justice League meets Robin, and he's overwhelmed by them, and they're all a little as Cyborg. But it's also the first time Dick Grayson meets Cyborg, so it's nice to know that they did have some level of history. They knew each other, so that's established. And Abnett, I don't think that's on accident that that's established. And Abnett is writing Titans, so we could see Cyborg. I don't think they're going to pull him off of Justice League or anything, but we could see him hang and have times where he remembers hanging with the with the kid group
relationship
and
again.
Yeah, if they can just figure out a way to make him and Beast Boy best friends, that'd be perfect. But Robin steals center stage by proving why he's worthy as Batman, because that's what they're all like. Everybody's like, he's like, oh my God, it's the Justice League, and they're like, what is it about this kid that would make Batman choose him? And then he shows it. And there's some touching Bat and Robin moments in there. Astonishing Ant-Man #9. Ant-Man's 11. Even though there's 10. But if they rescue his daughter, it counts as 11. This is how shit goes wrong, or does it? It's weird to tell, because sometimes Scott Lang seems to plan the mishaps as part of his bigger game plan. I continue to love this book. Nick Spencer's doing great, and Ramon Rosanas on art. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. Jordan Boyd does the colors. It's freaking gorgeous. Black Widow. Number 4, I think. Yeah, number 4. Black Widow number 4. Wade and Samney, so it's perfect. Black Widow is being replaced or being hunted down by a newer level of Widow, who ironically was a young girl that she used to call she used to call her mama's little recluse. So that's kind of cool that it's that's worked in without being like her official name, but that's in there. It's Wade and Samney and Wade. Meh, just read that. Things escalate quickly as Regent starts collecting Avengers, and it's Spidey and Iron Man verse. But that's not the important part of this. In Amazing Spider-Man number 14, I don't know what's going down, but Iron Man is having weird moments of not quite remembering things the way they were. He goes, wait, why do you guys know each other again? Over how he gets how Peter Parker knows Mary Jane, but he's like, wait, Spider-Man knows? And she's like, and Mary Jane's like, we all live together. I was dating Peter Parker. We lived in an Avengers mansion for a while. When you and this idiot built, when you and Peter Parker built the Iron Spider suit for this game, and Tony's like, I don't quite remember it like that. And there's starting to be hints, potential cracks in the
Whatever went on.
yeah, as in, could things be remembered? Could Mary Jane, and because remember, the Regent storyline in Secret Wars involved a married Peter Parker and Mary Jane with their daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So the potential is there for, the first cracks in the wall are there, and that made me happy. Star Wars, this issue deals with, it's number 20, deals with young Obi-Wan and younger Luke back on Tatooine in the day. Luke about the age that Annie was when they first found him. But that Black Kashnak, whatever his name is, the evil Wookiee bounty hunter, is there. So the problem I've always found with doing stuff like this, it's one thing when you pick up where a movie left off. It's another thing when it gets a little trickier when you do things that happen before the movie. But these are the fall in between movies, and suddenly they're making it a lot harder to believe. We already had to suspend some serious disbelief to believe that the best place to hide Luke Skywalker from his father was by keeping his name as Luke Skywalker and hiding him in the family home of the only family that Anakin, Darth Vader Skywalker, had left on the planet that he'd come from, in a house he'd been to with people he's met and family members he's met. So it's already a stretch, but now we're supposed to believe that Darth Vader, who we see constantly working with this guy, and this Wookiee's never told him, oh yeah, fuck, no, Obi-Wan's on that planet.
Tatooine.
Yeah.
Mess it up again.
So it's never. Han Solo, number 1. At first, I was like, because I read the description of what this was going to be, and I was like, first, I went through a series of, Han Solo's getting his own book? Oh, it's going to be like a race or whatever. Okay, whatever. It's a miniseries. But then I started reading it, and I was like, oh, it's really good. Han's on a secret mission, so secret no one's allowed to know he's on a mission. The cover for that mission is a race, and Leia drums into his head 1,000,000 times. You're not really here to finish this race. You are here to finish this mission. The race is just a cover. And Han, of course, being Han, by the end of this issue goes, I don't care what I told her. I'm going to do both. Here we go. Time to break my heart. Sixth Gun, number 50. The Sixth Gun ends. Or does it? No, really it does, because even in the letters, Cullen Bunn talks about how tempting it would be to go back to these characters. He's going to try his best to stay away from it because it ended the way it did and so perfectly. But his last words on the letters page are, but as Drake Sinclair might say, the end of the world can't stop me. Really good. Appropriate feels, appropriate weight, appropriate gravitas. One of my favorite series, hands down. Supernatural, Western, horror, fantasy. It's like every genre.
Cullen Bunn goodness.
And it's Cullen Bunn and Brian Hurt. Brian Hurt's art is always great, and Cullen Bunn is, I think, he's like my favorite writer right at the moment. It goes, Cullen Bunn, Mark Waid. I'll read anything that they put Christos Gage's name on. It's just his name's on less and less stuff. I'm starting to dig some Nick Spencer as long as I don't have to read Morning Glories. So another fantasy mix-up mash-up kind of book that broke my heart by ending. The Spire, number 8, the last issue of the 2016 Eisner Award nominee for Best Limited Series. Simon Spurrier and Jeff Stokely's The Spire. So good. So good. So good. At the end of it, proud stands The Spire, but heartbroken stands everyone on the know. Wraps up everything. All the pieces that I couldn't quite fit, it's because I was looking at the pieces the wrong way. I was trying to put a puzzle in, I had the last piece and couldn't figure out why it wouldn't fit. And then this issue tells me, well, you've had the piece upside down, you dumb fuck. And I was like, oh. So that was, it was really, really good. Weird Detective, #1 from Dark Horse. A book that I will admit freely I ordered because...
Title?
Well, no, Weird Detective, it's a double-sized Sebastian Green mystery. The detective is Sebastian Green. It is really weird on multiple levels. It's Fred Van Lente. Art is a first name I'm not even going to try because it's mostly vowels, and I will fuck it up. But the last name is Villanova. You have too many vowels in a row. I'm like... No, that's too many consonants. Vowels is... so, yeah, I'm not going to try it. You've got a Constantine-looking detective named Sebastian Green who is not human. It's actually... This is the greatest thing. This is like... Remember John Jones as Detective John Jones?
Detective John Jones.
Take that a crazier step further, where he's like an alien race that is trying to figure out how to save his race. They're a collective, so he's here on his own, and he's not thrilled with that. And he finds humans to be so limited, but he's in the form of a human, and he's taken the form of this average human detective named Sebastian Green. But what he's really working on is basically it's
Is he trying to bring individuality to his race?
it's part John Jones, Martian Manhunter, part the movie Starman. As a detective, he gets his influences for detectives. No one, I was already in love. I'm like, no wonder he took a Sebastian. This is the kind of things that Sebastians watch. This is pretty much what I do. He's sitting around watching TV, learning how to be a detective, or how he thinks Earth detectives act. And where'd the page go? It's all a bunch of TV. You know, he's watching like old school Sherlock Holmes.
Door.
He's watching. He's watching old school Sherlock Holmes. He's watching Bogart. He's watching. What the hell is it? It's I can't remember the name of the show, and now I'm gonna blank on the name of the actual actor. It's not Spencer for Hire. Was
Taking the Fat Man?
No,
Hardcastle and Cornick?
No,
that was newer.
this was and you get down to Jerry Orbach, but that was
Let me see.
I'm not gonna remember. But all detective shows that I sit around watching when they're on TV, and occasionally buying Blu-rays or DVDs of when I find them at thrift stores. Any practices, their lines, or whatever. But ultimately, the big threat that he's trying to stop are like Elder God Cthulhu stuff coming through, and he's like, we've beat them before. So it's a great mashup of everything, and it's uber well done. Scooby Apocalypse #2 continues to be fun. Scooby, not quite the coward that we remember him as, but remember some of the best parts. Scooby was a coward in general, but there were so many of those episodes where he, you know, without having to be, you know, bribed with Scooby snacks, if the gang was in trouble, Scooby would, you know, remember he was a big dog and be all, I remember him going after a gorilla one time, you know, and he'd start barking or whatever. He does get to do the classic, you know, right? We do have an exploration of the hell's a Jinkies and is it anything like a Zoinks? And it's so far the best way to put this is it's called Scooby Apocalypse, but what it really is like, you know the Scooby-Doo movies where they would meet famous things and mash up into, you know, like today, the new Scooby-Doo movies, it's like, today Scooby and the gang meet Batman and whatever, and they go to well, it's like today Scooby and the gang meet Alice in Raccoon City. That's basically what this is, and that's great. That's a great thing. Hellcat #7 is perfect. As comic books go, this is perfect. There is not a single flaw. Kate Leff, Brittany Williams, Megan Wilson, and Clayton Cowles on, you know, writing, art, color, and letters respectively. This book is flawless. The first arc comes to a nice close. We've got a nice springing off point for everything else and getting ready to. It was also great that the arc ends right before next issue is a Civil War II crossover of sorts. And it's nice that it's not going to crash into what they were already doing. This book is perfect. Perfect. Civil War II, X-Men. Magneto, of course, takes an extreme approach. The X-Men take a softer approach. But who will be on whose side is the question. I'm reading this miniseries because, Cullen Bunn. What do you know? Cullen Bunn, as in the writer of Uncanny X-Men. There is no love lost between these two characters in X-Men number 8. Shit's going down with the Morlocks. People they think might be bad. It turns out, no, I'm not here to fight you. I need you to rescue me. And it's a trap, as we're going to end up with things seem to be leading towards a confrontation between Archangel and Angel. Yeah, apparently that's the thing that can happen.
Okay.
And that's not even counting the time-displaced Angel that's on the other X book. So, there's
confused but intrigued.
There's angels everywhere. Angels, but not a drop to drink. That makes no sense.
No.
But alright, I'm done. I'm gonna go get sandwiches for my baby, and then we'll go home.
Thanks for watching another video from Gonna Geek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com, like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek, tweet us at GonnaGeek, subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/GonnaGeek, and check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.